What is up, guys? Your boy Boyo is back, and today we have another Zelda video. It's the first Zelda video in a long time. Today we're going to be going over the top 10 hardest bosses in the Zelda series. These are going to be based on my experiences with the bosses and why I think they are hard. Now please try to refrain from saying stuff like, this is easy as fuck, or you just suck at the game. Because it seems every time I talk about Zelda being hard, I get comments like that. So, try to refrain from saying that because one, it's extremely typical. And two, everybody experiences the game at different skill levels or different difficulty levels. Different dungeons or different bosses are going to be more hard or more easy for everyone. Okay, so starting off at number 10, we have Dig Dogger from Zelda NES. Now, I think I got stuck on level 5, because according to Google, Dig Dogger is the boss of level 5. Dig Dogger isn't really the boss I had problems with. I had problems in the room with the Dark Nuts, because I would always get killed by the Dark Nuts. And I only fought this thing twice, and both times I couldn't kill it because you need a flute to kill Dig Dogger, and I never ended up finding the flute, and I never ended up beating Zelda NES, sadly. But I will be getting that on the Switch expansion pass when I do buy it. Number 9 is Moldworm from A Link to the Past. We all know why this boss is hard. It's because you fight it in a tower and the boss can literally knock you off, which is very unfair. And so it's going to take you multiple attempts to beat it. So just like how you guys kept failing against it, I probably failed against it multiple times for the same reason, because it kept knocking me off. But I did eventually kill it, and I'm still playing for A Link to the Past. Number 8 is Twin Mold. I think the reason this is so hard is because the Giant's Mask requires magic to use. And you can kill this thing easier if you add the Giant's Mask. But if you don't kill both worms in time before you run out of magic, then you're forced to use arrows. And even then, you can run out of arrows. And when I played Majora's Mask, I think I had to have my brother beat this thing for me. I beat 3 of the 5 bosses in Majora's Mask without my brother's help. He also had to fight Majora for me. But yes, Majora's Mask was a good game, and me and my brother are going to be replaying it here really soon. Number 9 is Thunderbite Ganon. This gave me kind of a hard time. I only fought it in like the DLC. But it gave my brother a hard time when we played through Breath of the Wild for the first time. Now, the reason this is so hard is because 1, it's fast as fuck. Thunderbite Ganon is fast as hell. And 2, if you have any metal weapons which do the most damage, it's going to knock the weapons out of your hand, and that's going to get really annoying after a while. Number 6 is Big Octo. The reason I find Big Octo so hard is because you got to chase it, you have to hit its butt with the boomerang, and then you have to attack it. I've always had a hard time with this thing. I really think inside Lord Jabu Jabu's belly is harder than the Water Temple, because the enemies are harsh as hell, and the layout is kind of hard to figure out for me. And Princess Ruto, she's just rude to you the whole time. She's like, oh, how dare you leave me behind. You should act like a real man. Like, shut up, bro. This is why Link doesn't marry you. But yeah, I find Big Octo hard because you have to chase it. And if it's facing towards you, you have to hit it with the boomerang. And you have to keep hitting it until its butt is facing towards you. And then once you hit its butt, you go on and attack it. You can cheese this fight with the Deku Stick. I've seen a YouTuber do it before. But I find it hard because, one, you gotta chase it, and two, it's hard to get it to face the correct way with its butt facing towards you. Number 5 is Stalard. Now, I actually have a story for this boss. Once, my mom went to go buy a car, and by the time she came back, I was still fighting this thing. And it only took me 2 attempts, but the boss fight, each attempt was like over an hour. And I fought it twice. The thing that makes it so hard for me is because all the fake Xants are blocking its spine bone, so it's really hard to break down the spine bone because the Xant clones are blocking you from hitting its spine bone with the spinner. But the second phase, it isn't as bad. The second phase is epic. I really like it, and Stalard still remains one of the greatest bosses in the Zelda series. Number 4 is Stark Beast Ganon, not from Breath of the Wild, but from Twilight Princess. I find this hard because when I was playing for Twilight Princess, I could not figure out how to flip it over and attack the chest wound that Ganondorf has in Twilight Princess from the sages. But the easiest way to do it is to turn into Wolfwink and then use the hand on Midna's head to flip it over, then attack it as Wolfwink. You're probably best off fighting this thing as Wolfwink. Number 3 is Bongo Bongo. This is mainly hard because you have to use the Lens of Truth and the arrow at the same time. You have to use the Lens of Truth to detect its eye, and then you have to shoot it with the arrow, then attack it. Plus, the boss is really fast-paced. Now, I spent my whole life trying to beat Ocarina of Time, and I finally beat it back in 2017, a year when I beat a whole bunch of Zelda games, including the Minish Cap and Skyward Sword. But this boss is so fast-paced, and you gotta use the Lens of Truth and the arrow at the same time. Now, yes, I put the most time into beating Volvagia. That took me forever to beat on the playthrough when I finally beat Ocarina of Time. But the one I spent the most effort on was Bongo Bongo. Like, I had to put on a song to get me hyped up. Like, the Live to Die song from South Park. I had to put that on. Not Live to Die. Live to Win. I had to put that on to hype me up to beat it. And beating that thing was so damn satisfying. Number 2 is York Pear from the Minish Cap. I don't remember much from this boss fight, but I know you have to get into formation to attack it. And the fact that it's flying around makes it really easy to fall off, which makes it lose hearts fast. But you have to get in formation and then, like, attack eyes on it, I think. And this actually took me a couple of days to beat on the Minish Cap. Number 1 is Batty from the Minish Cap, because Batty appears in 3 games. Now, really the second boss fight is the hardest. In the first phase, I think the most annoying part is teleporting, but for the most part it's easy. You just gotta remove the dust from the eyes with the gust bellows, and then attack the eyes. But Batty teleporting around and shooting fire at you, that's just really annoying. But the second fight is really, really fucking hard, because there's rocks falling off the sky, there's rocks falling from the ceiling. You gotta get in the correct formation, shoot the correct eyes with the arrows, then attack it. And the third phase isn't that hard. It's probably the second easiest out of all the phases. Batty's Wrath is probably the second easiest. The only thing I think is hard is about Batty's Wrath is that you have to get in formation to hit the electric cords back at it. But other than that, like turning small, using the Minish Cap, using Ezlo, getting inside the arms and attacking little gold things, those are easy. But Batty took me weeks to beat. Like, when I started this thing, I was in my final days of high school, and when I finally beat it, it was like I think, if I remember correctly, it was like a couple days after I graduated. So yes, these are the top 10 hardest bosses in Zelda. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, please refrain from making typical comments like "this is easy" or something like that, because I get those all the time. You can comment that, but I don't know. I just find it so typical. But I hope you guys enjoyed the list. I do have a new Mountain Dew review coming up soon. But yes, I hope you guys really enjoy my Nintendo content. And I'm glad to be uploading frequently again. And thanks for watching. I'll see you soon.